Good morning, everyone. This is Professor Maloney, and I'm creating today a welcome video, which basically is going to provide you with a class overview on what we're going to be covering in this CGS1060 class. I see myself as being very blurry right now in this image, so if I'm having an issue with my camera, it must be because perhaps the time of day. Time of day matters when you're doing things like videos. Also, when you're really actually doing anything on the internet, because if you live in a community, and I live in a community in West Broward, if your particular association, for this community has, hundreds and hundreds of people based on, how many people live in the community, then sometimes if it's a time when a lot of people are typically on the internet, meaning they're not at home, and this is a Saturday morning that I'm creating this video. So anyway, I look a little blurry to me, but when I review this afterwards, I hope it's okay so that I don't waste the video. Anyway, so I'm Professor Maloney. Hopefully you've heard some things about me, and if you have, I hope also that some of those things were good. This is an honors class, an honors college CGS 1060 class. So first of all, congratulations to all of you honors students. If you are not an honors student, then unfortunately you need to get out of this class. This class has more material, more requirements because it's an honors-based class. Basically, when we're doing a class for the honors college, there are extra assignments, extra responsibilities, extra requirements. And why? Because you're honors students. You are students that are the best. You have a lot of ability, and we want to make sure that we maximize this. And it also helps you on your your school transcripts down the road. And I hope all of you are taking many honors classes. So congratulations, and let me give you a little round of applause. Way to go. So now, I make a lot of recordings in my classes. Okay, and my recordings have a tendency to get extremely long. Sometimes they'll be over 1 hour. And by the way, I do play my videos, or some of my videos, in class. Many of my videos, if not all, in class. I sometimes stop and play them. So you're welcome to watch any videos that you see in the course videos created by Professor Maloney link in our class in Blackboard, but you do not have to watch them in advance. I think it's a good idea to do so, though, just so that it'll help you understand. And that way, if you see a question or you think, you know what, I don't understand what he just said, you can jot that down as a note. And then when I play it in class, ask me that question. Okay. All right. So having shown your professor enough, I'm going to now share my screen. All right, that took a bit of time. So now let me get out of that one, actually. All right, so here we are. I'm going to, let's see, I can close that thing down. So let me first of all go to your view. That's number one. So when you guys enter this class, meaning you're in Blackboard, I'm in Blackboard over here, okay? So this class reference number is CGS1060C. Well, the class number, it's CGS1060C. The 2227 means it's a fall 2022 class, okay? And the 10121 is the class reference number, all righty? All right, so I'm gonna go through basically most of the important parts of these links on the left side of the page, all righty? All right, so the home page is where I post course announcements if I want to post any announcements. I'm not real big on posting announcements because I do so many videos, but before this class begins, you're going to see a class announcement welcoming you to the class and letting you know what you need to do basically, on day one. And of course, on day one, I'm going to talk about this class overview, but one of the important things in my classes is they're all MDC Live. And the MDC Live format is one of the modalities that's used by MDC, okay? Basically, let's talk just quickly about the three modalities. So there's really there's four. So I'll start with MDC Online. MDC Online, we used to call the virtual college. It's for students that are taking a class, and that class is entirely online, and it's also entirely what we call synchronous. Synchronous means it's available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, based on whatever assignments that the instructor provided for you. And some assignments are available for longer than others. But there are no required class sessions. So it's synchronous. Okay. Then there's MDC person to person, you know, a regular MDC class. You go to your campus, you go to class, you go to D307, or you go to G222, or you go to F111, you know, whatever, or wherever these classes are. And your professor shows up, and it's an in-person class. Okay. And then we have what's called MDC blended. And blended classes mean you have to attend. Normally it's between 25 and 35% off the days off the class. You have to be there in person, and the other 65 to 75%, depending on the professor, are done remotely with no requirements to attend a class on a given time. Okay, so in other words, it's sort of synchronous, meaning you're like MDC Online, you do anything you want whenever you want, except for the 25 to 35% of class sessions that you must go to campus and physically go to the classroom. And then the one that I teach, and it's the only, well, I teach two modalities, MDC Online for the old virtual college. I teach a couple classes there, and then I teach most of my classes. I'm a Homestead professor, so all my Homestead classes I teach via MDC Live. Now, MDC Live has a huge requirement that you need to understand, because not everybody likes this requirement. So you need to understand. I'm a professor that whatever the requirements are that the school has established, you must adhere to. I adhere to. So what you have to do is, when you look at your schedule is going to show that this class is from 8 a.m. until 9:40 a.m. every Tuesday and every Thursday, of course, other than holidays. And the only Tuesday, Thursday holiday this term is Thanksgiving Day, which is on Thursday, November 24th. So that will be a holiday. Every other Tuesday, Thursday, you must be in this class between 8 a.m. and 9:40 a.m. Okay, that's the official requirement. Now, I set all my, so this class is what we call synchronous, not asynchronous. Synchronous means that you must be in class when, oh my gosh, you know what? I messed up with, I think I said synchronous and asynchronous backwards a little while ago. I apologize. So if you're in a asynchronous class, okay, versus a synchronous class, the only difference is one class, you have to be doing certain things at certain times. In this class, you have to be in class from 8 a.m. until 11:40 a.m. Okay, every Tuesday and every Thursday. I'm going to show you via our navigation menu where when those sessions are and where they are. But I'm going to go ahead and click it right now. So basically, this link here that says required live collaborate ultra sessions is where all my sessions are. I'll just kind of click it just to show you for a few minutes where they are and what they are. Okay, so I have 3 different session links, okay, and each session link has lots and lots of sublinks. Okay, so the first one says required live class sessions. This one here, by the way, the one that says class overview, this disappears. This is meaning I'm creating this video right now in this session, but this session will end at 11 a.m. and you don't need to know that I'm doing this on August 13th. But basically, this will be gone. But these down here, there's a required live class sessions. Required obviously means you must be there. And you see it recurs from 8:23, which is Tuesday, the first Tuesday of class, starts at 8 a.m. and it ends at 9 a.m. And it doesn't mean it ends on 12/8, but basically it just means each session, starting with 8:23 at 8 a.m., all the way until December 8th, 9 a.m. So from 8 to 9 a.m., you're required to be in this class. If I click this link or I click this down arrow, you're going to see all the individual occurrences. So I click it, and these are the required live classes. So the first one, 8:23 from 8 a.m. until 8:23, 9 a.m. In other words, they're 1 hour. The second one, 8:25. The next one, 8:30. The next one, 9:1. Then 9:6, 9:8. You don't see a 9:13 because there's an exam that day. I'm just letting you know in advance. There's an exam on 9:13. Okay. Then 9:15, 9:20, 9:22, 9:27, 9:29 are also required live class sessions. Then 10:4 is not here. And again, unless you're looking at your calendar, you may not even know what all these days are. But 10:4 is a Tuesday, and there's no 10:4 because that's also an exam. There are 5 exams in this class, okay? So that's an exam. Anyone that's listed here, there's no exam. It just means you're doing classwork and based on what I give you. The next exam is on November 3. November 3 is a Thursday, so there's no class link here for it, but you'll see it when I get to the next section, one of the next sections sessions that I have. All right, so 11:3 is an exam, 11:22 is an exam, so there's no 11:22 session, and there's no class for 11:20. Oops, I have to delete this 11:24 session because that's Thanksgiving. And then December 13th, there's no session on that day, all right, because that's gone then. So now if I click on this link again, this one right here, now they're all gone, meaning they're just collapsible, right? So then I'll show you the exam sessions. That's the third link down. So exams is on 9:13, you have an exam. The exams start 10 minutes later than class. That's because I'm talking for the first 10 minutes. So you still have to be there at 8, and I'll be talking, explaining what you're going to be doing, and then you're taking an exam, and it begins at 8:10 a.m., ends at 9:40 a.m., but technically you only get 70 minutes for it. And I'll talk about all these things in class, okay? So this one here is going to be your Windows 10 exam. The next exam, this one here, because this is the regular one. So when I create the links, the sessions, then that session link stays up, but then the individual ones are under it. So here's the 9:13 to 9:13, 8:10 to 9:40. You only get 70 minutes. So it just means if you started as late as 8:20 a.m., you still get to 9:40 a.m., which is 70 minutes. But if you start it right at 8:10, then yours will end 70 minutes after that, which is 9:20, okay? Most of you, of course, won't need more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes to do this first exam on Windows 10, okay? The next one on 10:4, you get 70 minutes for this exam as well, and it's on Microsoft Word. Then the next one you get 80 minutes for. This is Microsoft Excel. And by the way, on Word, again, same thing. Most students won't need more than at most 40 minutes, but there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of training assignments that are covered here. So there's a lot of work to prepare for this one. Well, this one is pretty easy to prepare for. The Windows 10 is the easiest. Then Word is pretty easy. Microsoft Excel is the next one, and that's pretty hard. That's on 11.3. And then 11.22 is Microsoft Access. That's even harder than Excel. And then the last one, PowerPoint, is generally considered the second easiest after Windows 10. But either way, so they're exams, all right? And then there's one that's called optional. The optional are live office hour sessions. So the only sessions that are not listed here are the same ones. When there's an exam, the exam officially goes all the way until 9:40. So you won't have a 9:13 because there's an exam. You won't have a 10:4 because there's an exam. You won't have a 11:3 because there is an exam. And you won't have an 11:22 because there's an exam. And I will delete this Thanksgiving one that I forgot to delete. And then you have the last class day on December 13th. So that one is also not here. All right. So that's that. That's the optionals. So That's what you've got right in here. All right. But that's enough of that for now. I'll talk about it during class. All right. So that's the required live sessions. Homepage, I told you, is for announcements. I won't have too many announcements in the class. Then the next link down from homepage is syllabus and schedule of activities. So my syllabus, you can download a Word document, okay? But it's all listed right here. All listed right here. All right. So I won't read all of this because it's too much material, but that's what you're for, right? You have to read what's in your syllabus. So it's an honors CGS1060 class, fall 2022, the reference number, oh, sorry, 2227 just means fall 2022, reference number 10121. You don't need to worry about this Blackboard link because you're going to be accessing Blackboard from my Student Start Here link, which I'll talk about next, okay? All right, so it tells you class times, 8 a.m. until 9:40 a.m. But it is MDC Live, and MDC Live is an online synchronous class. Synchronous means that you have to be in class at a certain time. Okay, and of course, so from 8 to 9:40, I make the required class sessions 8 to 9. So that's this one right here. There will be required live class sessions in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. That's where my link is right here. It says required live Collaborate Ultra session links. Okay. They start on Tuesday, August 23rd, okay, and they go on for the entire term, but they're 1 hour, okay. Remember, the class is 8 a.m. until 9:40 a.m., but 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. are the are the required classes, and when there's an exam, though, the 5 exams, then this goes until 9:40, and the start would be 8:10, and you get 70 minutes or 80 minutes, depending on which exam. All right. Okay. So all that starts Tuesday, August 23rd. The optional means you don't have to go. That means it's up to you. So optional live office hour sessions are from 9 until 9:40. So in other words, 40 minutes of your class time, 8 to 9:40, is optional. Okay. If you have a question on your grade, if you have a question on a training task, if you just have a question for Professor Maloney, you can come to the optional live, office hour sessions. All right. Okay. And then when it's an exam, like I said, it'll be the entire 8 to 9:40, and there are 5 exams in the class. All right. All right. And it says the office hours are the live office hours sessions that I've created. All righty. All right. So this is MDC live modality, and that means it's synchronous. And it means it's required for you to be in class. I repeat myself a lot, you're going to see. All right. So this thing right here says there are 2 required live virtual class sessions each Tuesday and Thursday. So you're not coming to a classroom, but you must have a computer and you must be on it in my Collaborate Ultra. And by the way, it has automatic attendance. So you can't just come in anytime you want and leave when you want. I can pull attendance reports. If you miss 3 of my sessions, I reserve the right to drop you. Okay. I don't want to drop anyone. All right. So, and the 5 course exams have their own sessions, the required exam sessions. Okay. The office hour sessions, the optional, they're the link that says optional office hour sessions. All right. And that's from 9 until 9:40. A little bit of information on me. You can read that. You can look at that. Purpose of the course, course description, course objectives, specific objectives. You can look at these things, okay? Required text and materials. Now, this is a very important part right here, all right? So, first of all, this class is designed, well, it's a honors college class. So, if you're not an honors student, honors college student, and you were accidentally put in here, then you need to get out, okay? This is only for honors college students, and they do make mistakes sometimes. Once in a while, students get to accidentally sign up for a class that they're not really allowed to do. Things happen. Excuse me. Okay, but for all dual enrollment students, you get a complimentary course access code for this Cengage MindTap website, which I use for this class. 98% of your class grade is done on a website that I created on the Cengage MindTap platform. I'm going to have a separate video on the MindTap platform, but I'm going to show it to you in this video. All right. Okay. So anyway, if you're not though a dual enrollment student, you must. Okay. If you're a non-dual enrollment student, you must purchase your Cengage MindTap access code via the links listed below. Okay. I'll just show you what happens if you click this link now. And actually, since I'm in your student preview, it may not do what I want it to do because the preview is not technically live right now, but I'll see. Let's see. Okay, so it's pulling up eFollett, all right, which is our bookstore, by the way. You notice it says Bookstore Homestead Campus, Bookstore Homestead, all right? And it tells you it's Professor Maloney. Tells you the name of the class, including the reference number. It tells you it's Fall 2022 term, all right? So that's where you go if you want to buy it online. If, again, you're a student that has to buy it online. Oh, shoot, I just shut down my MindTap site, my Blackboard site. All right, so let me get out of this view and go back into, let me see here. Well, I'm actually out of that view now. So let me go into UC.Blackboard. Back into my class, your class, upcoming 10121. Sorry about that. All right, so student preview is still on. All right, so anyway, I was just reviewing the syllabus. Let me go back to the syllabus because there's still something important towards the bottom. Well, there's lots of things you need to review on it, but it is important, okay? So that's where you go if you want to buy the book online, the access code online. Again, if you're a dual enrollment student, you don't need to because you should already have received an email with your access code, all right? All right, but you notice I put in bold here, it is preferred that you go to the MDC Homestead bookstore if you need to buy it in person. Because that way, when you pay for it, you walk out with the access code. If you buy it from the link that I just showed you, which is this link right here, course materials results page, bookstore.com. If you buy it from here, they will email the access code to you, but it might be 24 hours later. It won't be more than 24 hours. I mean, unless maybe if you buy it on a Friday, it might not be until Monday. I can't say. But either way, if you buy it online via the bookstore online link, which is right here, okay, it might take you up to 1 day to get your access code. And by the way, for those of you that have to buy your access code, you must buy it by the end of the first week of class, or I reserve the right to drop you. 98% of your class grade comes from the material on the Cengage MindTap website that I've created for the class. All right. Okay. So here is your grading criteria. 2% for what we call a bio post. This must be posted by August 29th, and you cannot make this one up. You cannot. So if you don't post it by 11:59 p.m. on August 29th, regardless of why, you get a 0 on that assignment, and that 0 means that highest grade you can make in this class would be a 98%. Because it's worth 2%, okay? All right, so 2%. Everything else, Cengage training, that's at the MindTap site, okay? Cengage concepts quizzes, that's at the MindTap site. Cengage projects, you technically do these on your computer, but you have to go to the Cengage MindTap site to download what we call the starter files and the instruction files and any resource files you need to put these projects together, 28% of your class grade. And then there are 5 exams, all done on the Cengage MindTap site, each worth 10%. So the most important thing grade-wise in here, 50% of your class grade comes from 5 exams. Then the next most important thing, there are 9 projects, 9 and 3, 12. 12 projects for you guys because it's an honors class, and they're worth 28% of your class grade. So these 2 projects and exams represent 78% of your grade. 78%, all right? Bio 2%. The training is extremely important because the training gets you ready to do projects and gets you ready to do your exams. So, but it's only worth 15%. And there are about 17 training assignments in the class. So there's 5 exams, there's 9 projects, and there's about 17 training assignments. Okay, so now you're at 50, 78, and 15 is 93% of your class grade. During the first 2 weeks or so of the class, well, starting on August 25th and going until about September either 7 or 9. I'll show it to you at the end of this syllabus. You have to do 5 quizzes. You get to do each one 2 times, and it's based on material at the MindTap site as well. Okay, so you add all that up, that's 100% of your grade. Now, I am big on doing things when you need to do it. So you must, let me actually start. Let me read the entire exams part. It's very important. So the 5 exams in this course will each be taken remotely, meaning you're taking it not in front of me, but I will be on the site that you're on taking the exams, monitoring when you start the exam, monitoring when you finish the exam, and verifying that your grade posts. Okay. Also, you can only take the exam during the times that I have on the required exam sessions link in Collaborate Ultra. Okay. And it's from 8, well, technically it's going to be 8:10 a.m., even though it's available at 8, but I'll be talking, explaining the test, explaining what you do. And so you'll start it at about 8:10. And at 9:40, if you are not done, and it's within 70 minutes, because it will end itself after 70 minutes, but most of you, again, won't need that length of time. But if you, as an example, come to class at 9:20, and then you go and take your exam, well, most likely you're going to finish it after 9:40, and you'd automatically be assessed a 20% penalty. Okay, that's this thing here. So you will never be forgiven if you don't do something on time in my class. I mean, yes, I'm a nice enough guy to let you make things up until we get to the last week of class. You cannot make anything in PowerPoint up because in the last 2 weeks of class, because the PowerPoint assignments are due on the day before the PowerPoint exam, which is the last day of class, and you can't make anything up when the term ends. All right. Okay. So anyway, if you miss an exam, you also must email me to request a makeup exam within 7 days of the scheduled exam date, and there will be a 20% penalty. So then you can read this stuff. Now, one other important point, though, and again, there's lots of important points, but you're going to see labs as part of your schedule, and it's going to say TBA for labs, just like it's going to say TBA for your class. Well, there's no classrooms for it, so your TBA means the classes are going to be in Collaborate Ultra. So they're in Blackboard, but you'll be watching me. I'll be showing my face every day in class for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. Then I'll be playing one of my videos or discussing things with you, but you must always be in class again during those required times. And then though, there will be a lab time listed, but just as TBA. Lab time in this class means whatever work I've assigned you that you cannot do during class, which will be pretty well everything, you must do after class. There are 17 training assignments. Okay. There are 12 projects, and there are 5 exams, and there are 5 quizzes, and there's a bio post. You'll be working, most of you, at least 8 hours a week outside of class. Some of you may need 10 or 12 or 14 or more hours. It just depends on your familiarity to an extent with Windows 10, with Microsoft Word, with Microsoft Excel, with Microsoft Access, and with Microsoft PowerPoint. But obviously, in terms of difficulty, Excel and Access are the 2 hardest things. But either way, you're going to be having lots of material though. And I'm going to go show you the MindTap site, as I mentioned, in a little while, just to make sure you understand, wow, there is a lot of stuff, okay? I allow you to create study groups if you want to, and there's a discussion forum in our class in Blackboard for that, okay? Attendance and makeup policy. I mentioned if you miss 3 of my live sessions, just 3, I reserve the right to drop you. So if you get dropped, it's based on that, or of course not doing work. You notice here I also will put you must be on the Cengage MindTap website every week, and you must be completing training activities, projects. Practice exams are optional, but they're good to do, and final exams for Windows 10, Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. Okay. Then after that, I say additionally, you'll have 5 quizzes to complete during the first 2 weeks of class. All right. So there's a lot to do. So you can read all these things. Then you can read the course competencies. But after that is the next very important thing. And that is that I've got basically your entire term schedule. All the assignments are listed here. But it's called tentative. Because if I need to make a change or if I made a mistake, because I make everything up in advance of the term. I try to be very, very specific. But if something here is either typed wrong or I just decide, oops, that date, I don't want that date, I want another one. So that's why it's called tentative. But for the most part, everything listed here, you're going to be responsible for. Okay. The only one I'm going to focus on with you right now is the assignments done in class are your exams. So you'll just see 5 things here, each one with a bunch of underscores in bold. So this first one is the Windows 10 exam. And it says, must be done during required live class hours. And I tell you again, 8 a.m. to 9:40, which really will be 8:10 a.m. But you notice here is where I put it, and in my tab as well. It only ends at 9:40 a.m. if you started it at least 70 minutes prior to 9:40 a.m. And you can't start it before 8:10 a.m. because it won't be available. Excuse me. So that's Windows 10 on September 13th. Then this next one here is Microsoft Word on Tuesday, October 4th. Again, 8 a.m. to 9:40, but it'll be really 8:10 to 9:40, but or after 70 minutes. So if you start it right at 8:10, okay, then 8:10 means at 9:20 it ends. If you start it as late as 9:29, 8:29, sorry, you still have all the way until 9:40. So even if you come to class, late, although again, I'll talk about that because I say you have to be in class on time. But anyway, regardless, if you do not finish it by 9:40 a.m. and you have not used 70 minutes on the exam, it'll let you go over. It'll tell you that there's going to be a penalty. Okay, but anyway, right? So that's Tuesday, October 4 for Word. Then the next one is Thursday, November 3, Microsoft Excel. And this one, see, is up to 80 minutes now. 80 minutes, okay? And then Tuesday, November 22, also 80 minutes. This is Microsoft Access. So Tuesday, November 22. And then the last exam is on the last day of class. This is called Final Exams Week. It goes from Monday the 12th to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday, all the way to Friday, depending on what your class schedule is. I'm a senior associate professor. I always get first takes basically at everything, but my classes will always have their exams, if it's a full term class, on the first day of exams week. So for a Tuesday, Thursday class, that means mine are on Tuesday. Anyway, so that's Tuesday, December 13th. So that's this middle column, okay? The right column shows you when everything is due. It also shows some things in terms of being available. So I'll just very quickly on this one. So first thing you have to do in this class is your bio post. I tell you what the bio post is basically here, all right? But it's due August 29th. And that's in the discussion forums area in the class in Blackboard. I'll show you that before I end this video as well, all right? So next thing listed is Cengage Computing Concepts Modules 1 through 5 quizzes. You get availability for them as long as you're registered at the site, August 25th, which is a Thursday, and you get all the way until September 7th to do 5 quizzes. You get to do each quiz twice, highest grade counts, okay? But they are due on September 7th. Then there's a third thing. So this first, 4 weeks of class, then there's also the Windows 10 training, all right? You get to start it on September the 8th, which is a Thursday. It ends on Monday the 12th, and then you have the exam here on Tuesday the 13th, all right? Then after that, you got Microsoft Word. The very day of this exam here on Windows 10, Microsoft Word training goes. But you see Microsoft, you get all the way, Word, go all the way from September 13th all the way till October the 3rd, okay? So that's over 3.5 weeks, but, well, about 3+ weeks anyway. But you have 4 lessons, 3 projects, and then another capstone project, and then there's optional practice exams, and then you take your exam. This is like a bunch of work, okay? And then on Excel, it's the same stuff. There are 4 lessons, 3 projects, and then a capstone project, same thing. So it's all the same, okay? And you get a little bit more time for Excel, but it's still a ton of work, all right? Microsoft Access, you don't have projects, but you have the lessons and you have the optional practice exams. You get a little bit less time, but you don't have to do projects. But again, it's a difficult subject. And then PowerPoint, you get the same as with Word and the same as with Excel. 4 lessons of, oh, sorry, this is actually 4 lessons, not 3, okay? And then 3 regular projects and the capstone project. So this will be 4. And that's that, all right? All right, so that, oh, yeah, so that's your tentative schedule of activities, all right? All right, now I'm going to get out of this preview for now, all right? And now go into my view and just show you 2 other things that might be important. All right, so there's an MDC library link. Let me get out of there again. So MDC library link over here in your navigation menu in our class. Again, this is now my list, which is more than yours because I hide a bunch of stuff from you guys. So the library link, if you click it, it'll open up a new tab. Excuse me. And the reason I'm showing this is because from this click, then you have an Office 365 Student Advantage under Quick Links, all right? What this does is it gives you, Office 365 gives students enrolled at the college access to the latest versions of the Microsoft Office suite with all the features and functions you come to expect. If you take advantage of this and you click this link, you click the link, okay, then you read right here, and then you just click in right here, where just follow the instructions, okay? If you have a Mac or a Windows computer, you can install it on your local computer, okay? If you have a Chromebook, Google makes things even harder on Microsoft than Apple does, so you won't be able to install anything on that Chromebook that's Microsoft based. So if you have a Mac, you can install it. If you have Windows, you can install it, okay? But you follow through with this. If you don't install this software, Office 365, then when you're doing your projects, which are the only things you do on your own computer, okay? But you need to be on Office 365 to have the best chance of getting 100 on every project. If you're using an older version, even 2016 or 2014, 2010, 2007, etc., the older, the less likely you are to get a good grade on projects. And projects are the only thing you can't ask, well, projects and exams are the only things you can't ask your professor for help on, all right? Okay, so that's that one. Then there's also, shoot, over here, no, give me, that's the library link, okay. All right, so also underneath the library link, then there's a tutoring. So if you need help with CGS, all right, so you click that link here, MDC tutoring. When you do, it'll open a new tab, and you can meet with a tutor online, okay, or you can meet with a tutor on campus. You just follow whichever one you want to do, all right? But if you need help with CGS1060, this is the help we provide, all right? So what you would do is, first of all, pick, you know, if it's in person or it's going to be online, but start with your campus. So you click on Homestead, all right? In Homestead, then you click on the link for NTech or CGS, sorry, click on the CGS. And then it's going to, you know, bring you here. This is not meaning you're joining a session. This is just you initiating the request for some help, okay? And then they'll ask you about setting up an in-person or an online help session, okay? So there and there. All right, that's that. Now, I said I'd show you quickly MindTap as well. So when you go to your Student Start Here link, all right, I'm going to have a separate video on this one, basically, you know, registering at MindTap. But for now, like when I click right here, it's going to bring me right over to the MindTap site. When you click here, it's going to require that you register, okay? So I'm just going to go, and again, I'll have a separate video on that. All right, so one thing you got to do is enable pop-ups, because everything you're doing at the MindTap site uses what we call a virtual machine. In other words, when you're doing your trainings, even if you're on a Mac, even if you're on a Chromebook, no matter what you're on, if you're doing trainings, you're operating it in a virtual machine for whatever that task is. In other words, Windows 10, even if you're not a Windows user, you'll have a training on Windows 10. It's a pop-up, okay? If you're using Windows 10, let's say, You're using Windows, an older version of Windows. If you're using Windows 11, it doesn't matter, but you're going to be running Windows 10 if you click on that link. All right. So I'm going to click the launch. And then it's going to bring me straight over to the class. This is your class now at the MindTap site that I created. I just finished creating this yesterday, August 12th or so. All right. So you see, I've got it saying fall 2022, CGS1060C, 2227 just means fall term. And your reference number is 10121. All right. So here's what you're going to be doing at this site. You have to do in Computer Concepts, Module 1. At the end of Module 1, you'll see a quiz. Tells you it's unlocks on August 25. Tells you it's due on September 7. Exactly the same as what you saw in the tentative schedule of activities at the end of my syllabus. It says you can take the quiz 2 times the highest score counts. What's it based on? It's based on all these things up here. So you will have to go through. This is practice. This is a little video. This is a little document, or whatever. You just click on all the links and you make sure they all unlock on that time. But the only thing you have to do at this site are the quizzes. However, to get the best score, of course, you want to go into these links. You also have what's called an e-book, though. All right. So if you look on the right side of my screen here, this is about halfway down. It says full book. So if I click on the full book, all right, so I click. Now it's opening up the full book. So I can go to the table of contents, all right? And here's where I am right now, the technology for success. And there's a lot of modules, but you have to do the modules that I said, which is, well, I haven't said yet, but they're modules 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you don't need to do any of these down here where it says 14, 13, 12, et cetera, et cetera. You have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? So if I click, as an example, on impact of digital technology, you see it right here, all right? If I go over here, and let me collapse all again, all right? So then if I open up Computer Concepts, Module 1 says impact of digital technology, which is where I am in the book. It says Module 1. If I click on Module 2, it's the web. So if I go here now, and I click on the TOC, again, it says means table of contents, and I go down, here's the web. That's the second part, the web, okay? And you have to do the quiz for the web. Same thing, I make the quiz at the end after all these other links. So you can click the links, but you can also over here click these links and read everything, okay? It's up to you how you do that, but you get 2 chances at a quiz, okay? And then you have to do it for Module 3, which is computer hardware. So again, go back over here. 3 says computer hardware. 3 here says computer hardware. 4 here says operating systems and file management. Here, Computer Concepts 4, operating systems and file management. And the 5th one, the last one you have to do, software and apps. Software and apps. Now you notice some are over here aren't listed. Okay, I mean over here aren't listed. Like after 5, it goes to 12, 13, 14. You don't need to do any of them. Okay, but over here the same 12, 13, 14 are the same things, but over here you also have 8, 7, 6, which you don't even see over here. So this is just if you want to read more. All right, so that's Computer Concepts. There's 5 quizzes. Every quiz, when you open up the modules from 1 through 5, there'll be a lot of links, but it's the last one, and this you would click the link to take the quiz. And you have until September 7, available starting August 5, and these you can take asynchronously, meaning anytime you want, all right? Anytime you want. All right, collapse all again. So after that, then you have operating systems. Operating systems, so you get used to at the MindTap site, everything with an orange filled in bubble. I didn't say that up here, I apologize. So if I click on Module 1 up here again, oh, sorry, no, up here in Computer Concepts, and I click on Module 1, you'll see the only orange bubble is this one. And it says, always, it'll say counts towards grade. So if you don't see it counts towards grade, that means it's optional. So if you don't want to do this practice, it's not required that you do it. If you don't want to do this reading, it's not required. Yeah, it says do. That's because I'm letting you do everything up until this date. And then for people that take it late, like if you hover on this L, it says late policy. So I let you go later to take it. And for most of those late days, I also let you review the practice again, okay? But orange filled in bubbles are what you have to do. But to get the best grade, you want to click every darn link and review it, right? All right, So again, claps off. So then after computing concepts, and that's the first 2 weeks, then you only get from Thursday the 25th, sorry, Thursday, let's see over here. The exam I said was on September 13th. So September here, 13. So I'm starting it on the 8th. So you get 5 days to do Windows 10 training. But Windows 10 training you can literally do in 30 minutes. Some of you can do it quicker than that. But I'm going to recommend that you do each task 4, 5, or 6 times, because the exam in this case will literally be exactly this training. So you need to do this a bunch of times, because the difference between training and an exam is that on training, you can do every task a bunch of times, and you can also do an observe or a practice, which brings up a little video telling you how to do it. And another one brings up the same thing, but with a practice where then you have to click when they tell you to click. All right. But on the exam, you get 2 tries for every task. You get 1 try for the exam, but for every task that was taught to you in this training up here, you get exactly 2 tries when you do it in the exam. So if you just misclick, that's still a try. So that's why it's important to understand. That's how this whole class is. The only multiple choice and true false things you do are from the computer concepts, and they're only worth 5% of your final grade, if you recall. Biopost is 2%. Computer concepts is 5%, 1% for each of those 5 quizzes. And then operating systems, the training is one of the 17 required trainings that totally encompass, that totally make up 17% of your class grade, but each one basically is barely 1%, okay? But each exam is 10%. And this exam is the easiest in the class because it's only based on 21 tasks, which are how many tasks were in the Windows 10 training, okay? After that one is Word. Now in Word, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff. If I open Module 1, required, right? Counts towards grade, SAM training. This training by itself has more than twice as many tasks as the entire Windows 10 training, okay? And that's only one module. Then there's a project, and the projects are way harder than the trainings. The trainings have to be done first. They help you to understand the projects, okay? And then practice exams are exactly the training, but in an environment pretending it's an exam. So it's practice, doesn't have to be done, but you should do it. And you see the Word stuff unlocks September 13th, which is also the day of the Windows 10 exam, and it goes until October 3rd. But this is only Module 1. Then there's Module 2. This one here has more tasks and another project. Then there's Module 3. This one has a bunch more tasks again and a project, okay? Then there's Module 4 and the Capstone project. Capstone project is the special one for honors college students. It covers material from all modules 1, 2, and 3 into what they call a capstone project. And then in module 4, you only have a required training. So everything in orange bubbles. With Word, there's about 7 things in orange bubbles, okay? For regular training, there's 4. For regular projects, there's 3, so there's 7. And then the capstone project makes it 8, actually. And then the exam makes it 9. So Windows 10 is 2, Word has 9. Excel also has 9. Same stuff. I'm not going to show it all now, okay? But exactly the same, exactly. And then after Excel is Access. Access does not have projects, but it's got the same number of modules, okay? Same number of modules, same number of trainings. And in fact, there's more training tasks in Access than there are in Excel. There's more in Excel than there are in Word, and there's 6 times as many in Word as there are in Windows 10. And then there's more in PowerPoint. So that it just goes on and on. All right, so that's enough of this for now. So I'm going to shut that one down. And this video has gone way long, but that's how my videos are. So what next? Now the discussion forum for your bio post. So you click discussion forums, okay, and bio post. So this will be available at 12 a.m. on the morning of Tuesday, August 23, and it'll be available until August 29. All right, I'll show you what my post looks like. All right, I made mine this morning, so I click on here. All right, so you have to create your own post first, and then you get to see other people's posts. All right, so you have to put 2 paragraphs. I put a little bit more than that up here, but you have to each paragraph is 4 to 6 sentences. So you have to give me a total between 8 and 12 sentences. Okay, you also must include a picture. All right, So this is me. This is my wife, Eva, my beautiful wife, Eva. This is our oldest son, Jared. Jared is 24. He graduated from University of Central Florida in December 2020. His degree is a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He's worked for the past year and a bit as a quality engineer at a company in Pompano Beach called Horbiger Corporation. But he's now, I'm a Canadian, by the way, so he's a dual citizen. He accepted a job offer with the Royal Canadian Navy as a Marine Systems Engineering Officer. And this starts on Friday, September 9th. So you have class September 7th, Thursday. I'm going to still be here to teach you on that day. I mean, I'm going to be in Toronto, but running it from the hotel. But anyway, so this is our older son, Jared. And then this is our younger son, Caleb. Caleb graduated from the same school, University of Central Florida. This one's a little blurry. What's going on? Anyway, on December of 2021, last year. Okay. And Caleb just accepted a job offer with Broward County Public Schools. He's so his major, Bachelor of Science again, but in his case, forensic science, and he also minored in chemistry. Okay, so he's teaching. He just accepted a job offer, and he's now a full-time 7th grade science teacher at the same middle school in Broward County that he actually attended. And again, my beautiful wife, Eva. Okay, so then you must include a picture. All right, so that's that. And I'm going to say now this ends our video. I know it was long. I apologize. I don't really apologize. It's a lot of stuff. Have a great day.